It wasn't long ago that I talked about how Activision completely ruined Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered by locking it away behind the purchase of Infinite Warfare, by reselling DLC, by retroactively adding microtransactions, and then by releasing the title as a standalone at a high price point without any of the resold DLC included. At the same time, I also talked about how they already seem to be well on their way to completely ruining Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, as we learned from numerous outlets that according to their sources, the game would ship without multiplayer. Considering what Activision has pulled in the past, this has led many to speculate that they might potentially sell multiplayer separately as a downloadable piece of content down the line, which, let's be honest, is really not completely outside the realm of possibility. But it's not just Call of Duty remasters that Activision seems intent on mucking up. The upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will also seemingly be met with its fair share of disappointments. So in case you haven't heard by now, about a week ago on April 17th, 2018, website Polygon reported that according to their sources, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will not have a traditional single-player campaign, which is a first for the series. According to the article, quote, "The sources, who asked for anonymity, said that as Black Ops 4's release date approached, it became evident that the development on the single-player campaign wouldn't be completed. One source said, Treyarch has since focused Black Ops 4's development on expanding multiplayer and the series' popular Zombies mode. The source described an emphasis on cooperative modes as a potential stand-in for the typical single-player campaign experience. Keep in mind that it wasn't as if the developers decided not to implement a single-player campaign from the outset. It was decided mid-development that it would be cut." Not long after Polygon's article, website Kotaku released their own report stating that their own sources corroborated the information. Furthermore, they also confirmed a report from website Charlie Intel stating that to fill the gap for the lack of single-player campaign, Black Ops 4 would ship with a Battle Royale mode. Eurogamer then chipped in to state that their own sources basically told them the same thing. Yeah, when information from so many media outlets and their sources line up like this, it is safe to say that it is highly likely that this information is accurate. Now, as you might expect, a lot of Call of Duty fans aren't happy about that. Yes, Call of Duty has placed a strong emphasis on multiplayer ever since its rise to popularity with the release of the first Modern Warfare. However, historically, the series has always featured some form of an epic single-player campaign which a significant portion of the fanbase has enjoyed. Black Ops campaigns in particular has received a fair amount of praise from fans, so when rumblings of Black Ops 4 began to make ripples on the internet, fans were intrigued about where the story might go next. But now it seems as though hopes for such a prospect are all but futile. Now, from a pure business perspective, sure, leveraging the current popularity of Battle Royale over a single-player campaign will likely be much more financially lucrative for Activision. However, it does feel as though they are leveraging the Call of Duty name to get a piece of the Battle Royale pie. It feels like the franchise is being taken advantage of to pursue a cash grab. It reminds me of how Konami took advantage of the Metal Gear name to create their own take on the zombie shooter genre. The game did not have to be a Metal Gear game, but without the Metal Gear name, it just wouldn't have garnered the same level of attention, and Konami knew that. This feels like a similar scenario where Activision is telling itself Call of Duty's popularity plus Battle Royale popularity plus microtransactions equals massive bank, while forgetting what makes Call of Duty, well, Call of Duty. Forgetting might not be the right word, actually. It's more like they don't give a damn as long as they're raking it in. The series has historically been a marriage of bombastic single-player campaign with arcade-style multiplayer, particularly since Modern Warfare. Strip away one of these, and can you really say that this is a complete Call of Duty experience? If you ask me, I say hell no. That's why a lot of people are so mad about plans for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which is the reverse of Black Ops 4 in that it's keeping single-player but ditching multiplayer. It's not that I don't believe Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode doesn't have the potential to be fun or a polished experience, but the addition of Battle Royale doesn't seem to be in the spirit of pushing the Call of Duty franchise forward to a fresh next evolution, but rather just riding the wave that is the Battle Royale trend, dominated by the likes of Fortnite and PUBG. Call of Duty is no longer trying to become an industry leader with unique ideas and takes on the FPS genre, and to be frank, it hasn't been for a while. It's becoming an industry chaser. Call of Duty now chases trends instead of attempting to establish new ones, and it's just a bit pathetic. Now, one thing would be if they added Battle Royale on top of a complete Call of Duty foundation featuring a bombastic single-player campaign and a competitive multiplayer mode. But when you sacrifice half the series' soul in the process of implementing the more lucrative, ununique venture, I can certainly understand how that might leave a sour taste in the mouths of fans. Again, going back to Metal Gear Survive, yes, it used MGS5's engine, its assets, its gameplay mechanics. It was made by some of the members of the old Kojima Productions, but all things considered, can one truly say that was a true and unique Metal Gear experience? I say hell no. At best, it was a generic experimental diversion that could have acted as DLC for Phantom Pain, one that isn't worthy of being released as a standalone Metal Gear experience. For all intents and purposes, Metal Gear Survive was cash grab that tried to leverage on the popularity of zombie shooter modes, completely tone deaf to the identity of the series, and completely late to the race. I'll also remind you again that Black Ops 4's single-player campaign was already in the works, but it seems to me as though once Activision began sensing how popular Battle Royale was becoming during Black Ops 4's development, they reprioritized staff away from the campaign so they could quickly start scrambling to piece together what would make them money and not what would maintain the integrity and identity of the series. Not to mention that Activision could have chosen to delay Black Ops 4 and allow Treyarch to finish the single-player campaign and ship a truly complete package with Battle Royale and all, but of course, that would be asking too much of a company whose real customers aren't gamers, but rather their beloved investors who demand that games be released according to quarterly schedules and the like. The thing is though, I have no doubt that Black Ops 4 will end up making Activision loads and loads of money. From a business standpoint, they honestly have nothing of tangible value to lose by going this route, especially once you factor in the microtransactions that will come into play, most likely in the form of RNG-based loot boxes. Keep in mind that despite the recent controversy, Activision has stood their ground on keeping loot boxes around for all their major titles, including Call of Duty World War II, Overwatch, and Destiny 2. While all eyes are on EA and their royal screw-up and away from Activision, Activision gets to lucratively carry on with their predatory schemes. But eventually, if they continue on this path, they will lose something that they value far less, as it's something they can't hold or spend: goodwill and respect, which go a long way in the longevity of a company. Ultimately, if you don't have the trust of your consumers, your business is doomed, plain and simple. We've already seen how a lack of goodwill ultimately came to bite EA right in the ass when Battlefront 2 launched, and how that prompted them to completely change their business model. It cost them a lot. At this pace, Activision is headed down a similar path. There's only so much you can stretch a rubber band before it snaps. And with how Activision has handled its games as of late, particularly those of the Call of Duty franchise, and with clear scummy intentions lurking behind the scenes through their patents that detail things like a matchmaking system that manipulate players into making microtransactions purchases and whatnot, something is bound to snap very soon. This way of operating a business is simply not sustainable in the long run, especially not in the current landscape when gamers are more attentive about bullshit practices and decisions in the gaming industry. So enjoy your short-term boom of profit while you can, Activision, but know that the world is paying more attention than ever before, and killing the identity of a franchise as popular as Call of Duty to pursue easy cash isn't going to do you any favors in the long term. These are all just one man's opinions anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon. It is completely optional, but donating even as little as $1 a month will go a long way in helping this channel grow. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!